Ashlee Evans-Smith here for Injitsu.com with MMA legend Josh Barnett. Josh, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes. Tell me, who are you here to corner?
Well, I'm here part of the CMMA team, so my team of UWF USA and CMMA all train together, so we're basically just one joint group. We got 6 people on the card tonight, though mainly I'm here for Johnny Robles and Victor Henry, who's in the main event, I believe. But we got Ozzy Diaz, Jean-Paul, I can't say his last name, but it rhymes with Armenian, so there you go.
Lebas Noyani.
Yeah, there. Yeah. So we got Cody Davis and Diego Perez.
Holy crap, I did not know you had that many fighters on the card. I think there's 7 total pro fights and you have 6 out of those 7. I know you don't want to go through all of that, that's fine. Maybe pick the top 2. What do you expect to see from those fighters?
The main thing I want to see from Johnny Robles is just fight IQ. Kid's tough as hell. Comes from a wrestling background. He's won grappling tournaments, catch wrestling tournaments. He had a good, well-decorated amateur career, but this is his pro debut. The only thing that matters is being able to let the skills that exist within him operate without being told. I just want to see that fight IQ. With Victor, I want to see total gore, destruction, just maiming of his opponent. Nothing against, like, there's no personal thing here against any of our opponents, to my understanding. But for Victor, this is about his journey, about making a statement against a guy who's been in the UFC. I think he might have fought in Bellator, but just because Victor hasn't been fighting here so much, he's been going to Russia and crushing people, 2-0 in Ryzen. He's the deep bantamweight champion, and that's fine. You can watch Contender Series goofballs all day long. Victor Henry is better than most anyone in his weight class in the UFC or Bellator, and has beat most of the people that are in there fighting.
So is the goal for Victor or the rest of your fighters to get to the UFC?
No, it's just one option. But it's the point is to go where the best competition is, and also where the best pay is. So if we can leverage the best opportunity out of that, great. But at the end of the day, the fighters need to perform to their utmost potential and leave the ring better than when they got in it. If they can continue on that path, then wherever they end up, they're going to have success. Whatever success is available to them, they're going to achieve it. It's not being in any company with 3 letters or not doesn't actually make you good. So for me as a fighter and as a trainer, I just want to see them realize their best potential. And I know, that being said, if I can get that out of them, I'll take them as far as possible.
As someone who's been in the UFC, you know what it's like to be on that stage, and you understand that some of these younger fighters, that's just their goal no matter what. It's not even to make a lot of money, it's to get to the UFC.
Sure.
How do you convey the wisdom that you now have about it not being about the UFC, about being what's best for your personal career? How do you get that message across to them?
Well, I mean, on one end, it's just the idea that perception is not always reality. That's not to say that the UFC is a bad place to be at all. It's just that being so singularly focused and thinking that, I mean, basically everybody gets to this idea that that's where they're going to be because everybody else repeats it. They don't even really think about it. So really consider things. The other thing, I can approach them and say, look, I walked out in front of 93,000 people. The UFC has never had that many people. No organization except maybe K1 has ever had that many people. I've been in the biggest shows in the entire world, and they were not in America. So it's not, there's a big world out there, and there's a lot of things to do, and at the end of the day, regardless of where you end up, it's about your journey, not the place that you end up. The UFC is a place full of incredible fighters, awesome opportunities, and it's really grown into a household brand. It is the Q-tip of MMA, and that's an amazing place to be. But Victor's fought in front of 30,000 people in Saitama. Tonight he's going to fight in front of, 1,500. But at the end of the day, it's a ring and an opponent. Someone's got to die.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. LXF 6 is the card that we're now on. Have you been cornering for other previous lights out fighting MMA events?
I've been with this promotion, bringing fighters here and working with George and Steve Bash since it was CXF. So this has been a long journey. They're a great promotion. They're a real standout for professional fighters here in Southern California, which is still arguably the mecca of pro fighting in the United States. And there needs to be a place for them to fight, and having the capital and the ability to not spend more than you gain is a difficult thing as a promoter. which I can speak from as experience. LXF does an incredible show. They give a lot of opportunity to these athletes, not just in having a place for them to fight, but also having visibility that a lot of the shows from previous generations didn't have.
I think they do a great job of their social media. It is a social media world, let's face it, whether you love it or hate it, it is how it is. They've got a large following. I think it's a great promotion, a great local promotion. You personally, you're not fighting anymore, but I hear something called Bloodsport. Besides cornering and coaching, tell me what else you're up to.
Well, I actually haven't retired yet. It's just a matter of opportunity. I still have the ability, and I'll use it up for as long as my body will hold up. And I fought last year in Poland in a bare knuckle boxing match, and took my opponent out. He couldn't continue from the second to the third round, and it was fun. It felt more like why I got into MMA, or no holds barred when I started it in the first place.
So are you focused more on enjoying the ride, not going at the highest level, UFC, or are you just more whatever floats your boat at the time, bare knuckle, MMA?
I can find, the best matchup that exists out there. I'm in Bellator, so Fyodor is always still an option. And there's always people moving and shifting, but at the same time, I also want to be able to invest in myself more, because I can't rely on any company to do anything for me. I got to do it on my own. And so having the freedom to do things like run my professional wrestling show, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, which we just had a show last weekend. We're on show 7. And we've trended number 6 in the United States with our shows, and we're doing great work. We've got guys like John Moxley and dudes that were in the WWE and NXT, and people that have all gone on to AEW, and wrestlers from New Japan Pro Wrestling like Minoru Suzuki. We have a wealth of talent, and I'm really proud to have this project because it's an extension of all that has been put into me, not just from the MMA side, but from the professional wrestling side, from mentors like Antonio Inoki and Billy Robinson and Carl Gotch. So I'm putting my stamp on what I see as professional wrestling, and doing so in the honor of those that have given to me.
So you wear a lot of hats, and as someone who tries to wear a lot of hats as well in my life, how do you balance your life out with your own personal fighting, cornering fighters, organizations you've created and are running?
It's difficult, but I am a high-stress person. I'm very capable of handling high-stress situations. I often have, what's the turn of phrase is bigger eyes than stomach. So I'm constantly taking on way more than I need to, but by being at that threshold, I seem to make it happen. And so from being a part of a whiskey distilling operation to running my own promotion, pro wrestling, training and coaching and managing fighters and athletes, being my own fighter and pro wrestler, and all kinds of other projects that I get myself into. Basically, I don't know how much time I'll have on this earth, but I'm gonna make the most of it. And so there's a lot of opportunity out there. So many things that I love in this life, and I get to be a part of them, but only if I put the effort forward to make it happen. And I have no idea where any of this stuff in my life was gonna lead me to, but I know that by having an open mind, by being absolutely authentic to who I am, that I would end up where I wanted to be. I have friendships I've made that 12-year-old Josh would have just been like, that's a lie, it's never gonna happen. But when you can bring Glenn Danzig to your show to go watch pro wrestling, it's not because anybody is out there trying to be cool or anything like that. It's just, you just meet other people. And especially when you're out there being someone who is producing things and being forward and trying to create in the world, and it attracts other people that know what that's like. I mean, because someone like Glenn, he started the Misfits from scratch and did everything, to creating his clothes, to printing the stuff. I mean, but that kind of mentality of the whole DIY from the get, and take all that responsibility on your shoulders, people, the real ones know it,
It's obvious to say this, but you thrive well under pressure. You take a lot on your plate, and the more you take on, it seems like maybe the better you do. And maybe to summarize what you say, just be yourself no matter what.
Oh, you have to be 100. Authenticity is key. In a world as fake as this, it doesn't matter whether people like it or love it, but you have to be exactly who you are. When you learn better, when you know better, you do better, and that's it. Keep on your journey, keep moving forward. Try to wake up even just that much better than you were the day before. And never be afraid of failing, and never be afraid of of having to admit you were wrong. Never shy away from the fact of that you cannot be perfect.
Life is full of learning experiences. Thank you so much. I think this is a motivational spot to end on. One last question. What is something the fight fans, you're very open, like you said, and you're on social media, but what is something the fight fans may not know about you? Could be fight related or personal, who knows?
Even though I'm really into metal,
We know that,
I'm
Josh.
a huge fan of Depeche Mode.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's not really, I guess, a stretch. I like jazz a lot too. I mean, I have a very varied musical taste,
Okay.
I suppose.
Well, the last guy told us his favorite color is red, so that's a way better fun fact.
Yeah.
Where can we find you on all your social media platforms so we can follow you?
At Josh L. Barnett on Instagram and Twitter, and then Josh Barnett Official on Facebook. And you can get to all of this stuff and see what I'm up to at joshbarnett.com, which has links to the whiskey, which is called Warbringer. And we make it up in Oxnard. When I say we, I mean there's a good chance if you grab the bottle, I either distilled it, roasted the grains, or smoked the corn, or bottled it, or whatever. You know,
Or sampled it?
Well, definitely. No, so we also have the War Master Edition, which is a single barrel product, and it don't go out the door unless I pick it. And as far as even a lot of our Warbringer blends, which is a 98 proof blend, I'm one of the people that sits down there and does the tasting sessions with it and works through it.
Well, I hear the fight's starting, and I know you have 6 people, so thank you so much. Good luck to all 6 of your fighters.
All right, thank you.